Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Sunday morning service. So much appreciate you coming to join us this morning. God bless you. It's an exciting Sunday because it's only 1 week away, and we shall meet in church on the 21st of June, which is just 1 week away. I'm so excited about that. This is pretty much one of our final broadcasts that we shall have until Sunday, when we shall gather again in church and have a proper service where we can see each other face to face once again. I want to thank first and foremost everybody for the time you've taken to support, be a part of all that we've been doing over the last couple of months, being able to support even some people linking others to these broadcasts to be able to communicate the Word of God to everybody. I'd like to thank also Brother Destiny Lawrence for his time, dedication, for all that he has done over this period of months. It's not easy, but he has been able to compile and put things together so that we can be able to access them on YouTube. Apart from that, we are quite aware that 21st government has told us that we shall resume gathering in church. Definitely be here at church will start at 10 o'clock on that Sunday. There will be some new regulations that we have to adhere to, washing of hands before getting to the church. She sits with you at a certain social distance, and all that little things that we're going to change around. So please come prepared for that. It will be wonderful to see everybody come to church on Sunday the 21st for such a wonderful time just to be in the presence of God, worshiping God together. Remember prayer on Thursday, we shall still hold a prayer. And this will be last Thursday, also the last prayer that we shall have, because as we open church, we shall go back to our regular once a month prayer meeting, which is every last Thursday of the month. We shall go back to that and continue in that program. Apart from that, I believe let's go to the giving. Let's give unto God. As you are aware of the opening church again next week. Resources go on. Baby churches are also open. We need to give them that support. We need to take care of them and everything that we normally do for them. Remember, it's a rainy season. Most of them, some of our baby churches have been open places that they need to cover. Please, let's give resources to that. I know that we've come out of 3-4 months without too much of an income, but I believe in God will supernaturally bless and if you be faithful in giving. So much appreciated. Everybody's been giving throughout the months to make sure that we can do these broadcasts and keep everything going. May God bless you all. You can give to our account numbers at the bottom of the screen. Please, GT Bank or Access Bank. But if you've been having your home church, house church, over a period of time you've accumulated certain offerings, please remember to bring them to church on the 21st so that we can all go together and glorify God in His house. Amen. All right, let's go to the Word of God this Sunday morning. I want to minister from the book of Jeremiah, the prophet Jeremiah, of an incident that happened in Jeremiah chapter 32, reading from verses 1 to 4, then 6 to 9. I want to just bring to your mind as we are about to get out of the lockdown and going into a different season again of the year. 2020 has been a year of different seasons already, but as we enter a new season, God will be able to open up and do everything in your life. So let's go to Jeremiah 32, 1 to 4. It says, the word came to Jeremiah from the Lord in the 10th year of Zedekiah, king of Judah, which was the 18th year of Nebuchadnezzar. For then the king of Babylon's army besieged Jerusalem, and Jeremiah the prophet was shut up in the court of the prison, which was in the king of Judah's house. Zedekiah, king of Judah, I shut him up, saying, Why do you prophesy and say, Thus saith the Lord, Behold, I will give this city into the hand of the king of Babylon, and he shall take it. Let's move on to verses 6 to 9. And Jeremiah said, The word of the Lord came to me, saying, Behold, Hananiah, the son of Shel, your uncle, will come to you, saying, Buy my field which is in Anathon, for the right of redemption is yours to buy it. And Hananiah, my uncle's son, came to me in the court of the prison, according to the word of the Lord, and said to me, Please buy my field that is in Anathon, which is in the country of Benjamin, for the right inheritance is yours, and the redemption yours. Buy it for yourself. Then I knew that this was the word of the Lord, so I bought the field from Hananiah, the son of my uncle, who was in Anathon, and weighed out to him the money, 17 shekels of silver. Let's pray. Father, thank you for this morning. Thank you, God, for gathering us together. Where we are, God, minister. Strengthen us, O God, this morning. Give you glory and honor. Thank you, Lord Jesus. Thank you for your power. Thank you, God, for your deliverance. In Jesus' name I pray.
Amen.
Amen. One of the greatest things of life is how you maneuver and come out of difficult circumstances. Life will one time or another bring crisis into your way. Life will bring seasons. Some seasons are not pleasant. Some seasons are pleasant. But many times you'll find life will push situations into your fold, and you have to make decisions on what the outcome will be. We have in our text here Jeremiah the prophet. He goes up to Zedekiah, king of Judah. Zedekiah is a king of Judah, and Jerusalem has been surrounded by Nebuchadnezzar, the Babylonian king. He's looking for advice from God. What does God say about this situation? We find that Zedekiah gets all sorts of prophecies from all sorts of prophets. Most of these prophets tell him, you know what? Hold out. You shall defeat Nebuchadnezzar. They're going to, get tired that all that they advise God will deliver you. But Jeremiah is unique amongst every one of them. He tells him to say, submit to the king of Babylon. And if you submit to the king of Babylon, what will happen to you is you will survive. Put yourself under the fold of Nebuchadnezzar and you will survive. That's our text there when Zedekiah is talking to Jeremiah saying, why do you say I should give this city to the hand of the king of Babylon, and he shall take it? Jeremiah can see life from a different, realistic perspective. The reason I'm ministering this is because most of us live sometimes in a phantom world, a fantasy world, spiritually. Just like Zedekiah who says, you know what, God will deliver me because I'm an Israelite. I live in Jerusalem. I know that. And his spirituality has made him blind to reality, which is true for many people out there, such that they become spiritually high up there and earthly and realistic. All they see is angels and divinity. They don't see the reality of humanity and the need of mankind. They don't see what's really going on. Since we've been in this lockdown of COVID-19, I want to ask you, what realities have you come to understand? What realities are going on in your life that you've said, you know what, I need to make an adjustment here. Just like Zedekiah the king, that is supposed to make an adjustment here. To say, you know what, I don't have the army that can fight Babylon. I don't have the capacity. My city is already under siege. I can't do anything else. But we find that he doesn't do that. He goes on to go and gather prophets who will befit and speak to his ears. Today on the internet is whereby whatever information you want, you can get that will support your theory, that will support what you think. There is always somebody, you know, in the olden days when I was growing up, if you had a thought and you wanted somebody to back it up, you had to really, you know, it was hard to find anybody. But today on the internet, all you have to do is put out your name there and what you're thinking, and a few people begin to support. Soon you have the community, and but you know, that's what it is here, that people are able to gather people unto themselves. In Timothy, Paul will tell, there will come a time when they will gather teachers to themselves who will tell them what they want. Zedekiah has got prophets like that, who are able to come and say, listen, we shall overcome Babylon, and God will deliver you, and all the spiritual dimensions that they'll tell you. But the scriptures are giving us some insight. Jeremiah has heard from God. And God has told him to say, this city is going to be taken by Nebuchadnezzar. I've already given this to him. And he tells it to the king to say, listen, be wise. Face the reality. Look at your capacity. Look at where you are. Okay? You are not a man that has the capacity to fight Nebuchadnezzar and Babylon. Submit to them, and your city will leave. We know the story that Zedekiah never heeds the words of Jeremiah, and he goes on and tries to die out. We know the story. He ends up, you know, going to Babylon as a slave, and all that story that happens there. But the point is this, is that he had an opportunity from God to make the right decision. And I'm looking at people right now. There are people, you've over-spiritualized your condition, your situation, where you are. Oh yes, you know, this is going to happen for me. I know people who are always waiting for something. God will do it for me on such a day. And they've become lazy. They've become complacent. They've become inactive. And they're waiting. God will just do it. There's no effort from them. They don't live in a real world. They don't live in reality. Let me tell you a word. Spirituality is a reality. All spiritual relevance gets its potency from reality. Your reality is what's going on spiritually. I can go on and tell you whatever you shall bind on earth shall be bound on earth. Reality, reality. There is nothing here that has been put on one side or the other. You have to know where you are. You have to know what you are standing on, where your faith is. Your faith is about the realities going on in your life. Jesus is looking at the realities in your life. He's not looking at some mystical thing that's out there. Something out there that is, you know, Hellenistic. Something out there that's, you know, you are living in some type of modern day Alexandria, where, you know, we shall see God is, you know, you have to look at the realities that God is real. You are real. Your situation is real. And you need real solutions to real people's problems, and to a real God. He gives real problems, real solutions. You can't give mystical solutions to your life. Speaking this for a reason, because I've encountered a person that whenever you talk to them, or whenever you talk to this person, all they ever tell me is they throw things off. Oh, God will do it. God, it's done in God's name. But they never change. I've known them for several years. Nothing has changed. Their reality is not changing. In actuality, it's getting worse and more deplorable. And it's all because they are like Zedekiah. They don't see the realities. I'm weak. Babylon is strong. Jesus says, which king goes to war without first sizing himself up, counting his soldiers and looking at the army is going to fight and says, you know what? We're not capable of winning this war. Then he goes out and he makes peace. He's talking about reality. This is true also of your life. The realities of life. Let me ask you right there where you are. Are you facing your reality? Are you looking at your life real? Because next week, like we've been told here in Lagos, Nigeria, that we shall be opening up churches next week. What realities have you learned throughout this lockdown? You come back to church, what realities? Or are you still going to live in that phantom world, that fantasy? That whole thing that oh, this will work out for me, an illusion. A number of months ago, I went to the gym, I was trying, working out. And I saw this young man, and this young man had a camera. He just walked in, went to a machine, lifted about 10 kilos or a few things here and there. And he came a few minutes later. He came, excuse me, sir. I said, what's up? He says, can you help me take a picture? And we shot a little video. So I said, okay. So I'm helping him and I take a video. I tried to work out. A few minutes later, he goes, can you help me? I'm on this machine. So I said, what are you doing this for? And he told me. He smiled a little bit and said, it's for my followers. So I said, are you some kind of superstar? Are you some renowned, famous person? He says, no. I said, then what kind of followers do you have? Why would people follow you? And he says, I'm on some social media like that. I've got followers. And he's just a kid, and I said, how many, out of curiosity, I said, how many people follow you? And he told me, 15,000 people follow you. And I said, what? 15,000 people follow you? They'll see you in the gym, they'll see you in a restaurant, they're following you, just look at your life, and you're not even a superstar. And that's what I'm saying, that's a life that I'm looking at. He's not living in reality. It's a life whereby it's a show, everything he's doing is lies. That day I know that he just paid for just the day session in the gym and is making it look like he's always in it. And all that is creating a facade. And that's what I'm trying to break in that right now. Break the facades in your life. Stop the pretense. Stop the lies. Start coming out as real before God. God can only touch you when you're real. God will only meet you when you're real. You can't come up to God and looking like, you've got it going on when you don't. It's not social media. It's not a social media relationship you have with Jesus. Jesus looks at you for what you are. That's why in Jeremiah 17 there it says, I, the Lord, search the heart. He does not come to say, looking for the facade of what you can present. He comes and looks at the real stuff that's good. Because he's a real God. And if you're dealing with the real God, you better realize in your life to be real also. Because most of us are pretending before God. We pretend like God doesn't know what's really going on. Everyone has discouraging moments. But those discouraging moments, when presented to God in reality, they become potent for His power to work. Everybody has disappointing moments. Everybody has moments when things didn't go your way. We have seasons when things are not just manifesting the way you want them to. But you see, when you're real with God, you shall find that these things manifest. Because God lets His hand touch the real things of life. God is not interested in lies and deception, facades and illusions. God is interested in the real you. In our text, we find another side of this story. Is Jeremiah. God speaks to him and says, Jeremiah, Zedekiah has decided to live in a fantasy world, in a facade. And Babylon, Nebuchadnezzar, I'm giving him the city. And that's exactly what happened. The city is under siege. It's been besieged, and they are coming to, overrun the city. But in the midst of that, He tells Jeremiah, buy some land. Now you have to understand the concept. Israel, or Judea, is about to be overrun. The enemy, Babylon, is coming to take over and run the whole country. They're going to be taken into captivity. We know the whole story, 70 years ago to captivity. We know what's going to happen over here. But in the midst of that, He tells him to buy land. Why would you buy land when land is coming to be taken over by the enemy? Which means none of the citizens will own land. They're going to be carried off as slaves. But God tells him, buy some land. What I want you to know about reality. You see, reality is knowing the power of God in your life. Jeremiah is being told here to say, you know what? Even if you go out for so many years, one day you will come back. And if this land is still here and I'm still God, I shall still give it back to you. You see, your realities should be founded in God. The reality about myself is not so much of, what I perceive today to be. It's what I see God. Let me probably rephrase that. It's what God sees that I see also. See, when I pray, I've learned a few things throughout this COVID-19. I've learned to say, God, let me see what you see in my life. So that I can base on that reality. The only one with the reality here that is true is God. Because if Jeremiah is being told, go and buy land, in a time when you're going to war, you've been besieged, you've lost, why would you go and spend more money and buy land? But when you see the reality of God, God knew He can take them out for 70 years and bring them back. That land will still be there, and will still be Jeremiah's land. He says, go and come back. And we can still, I'll still give you property. That's a type of faith that I'm talking about, that you have to know. Your cry in life should be, God, what do you see in me? What are the realities in me? What land should I buy? Because God says, go and buy the land where your uncle, your cousin is selling, that your other cousin is selling. Buy it. In a time when there's no point It's just a waste of money. You buy that land, soon the Babylonians are coming to take it. But you see, the reality of God, it was going to belong to Jeremiah. If the Babylonians come, down the road, God will work it through it by to become Jeremiah's. You are here, you're listening at the sound of my voice this morning. I want to tell you that your reality should be what God sees in your life. You should ask God, God, what do you see? It's not what people try to tell you are. I don't rely on my reality, is not what people say I am. Some of it is not even what I say I am. My reality is whom God says I am. When I look in the mirror, I see a person wonderfully and fearfully created. That's what God says I am. When I look into the mirror, I see an adopted son of God. I don't see a poor person. I see a one in whom Christ, all wealth that belongs to Christ has been given unto me. I see a person with power. Those are the realities of the Word of God in me. I don't stand around, I don't stand looking around at what I've experienced a lot of things in life. But the realities are in the Word of God, what He says about you. The word of the Lord came to Jeremiah, go and buy land. And he went and buys this land. It's what God says. Your reality is what God says about you. And people here are discouraged because every time you look at your life, every time you engage in some kind of activity, business, relationship, career, it's not working out. And you're looking at yourself, you begin to, put yourself down. But let me tell you something. There's the word of God, what God says about you. When Jesus went to get baptized by John, he was just another guy coming to get baptized. To everybody out there. People were watching him and saying, who's that guy? Oh, John says, there's one comes whose sandals are not worthy of untying. And he says, they say, John, he's just another person. Until they say a dove came from him. And the sky opened up and the voice was heard. This is my son, in whom I'm well pleased. That's the word. I can tell you, Jesus walked through life confidently because of what God said about him. This is my son, in whom I'm well pleased. He could face all kinds of adversity because why? His reality was that he was the Son of God and the Father was pleased with him. You see, God has spoken in his words about you. Christians who don't read their Bibles, how will you know the reality of what God says to you? You don't read the Bible. Christians who don't pray, how will you know the reality? How will you know? Because prayer, you will know what God says about you when you communicate with him in prayer. When you read what he says. When you commune with him. In the Garden of Eden, it says he used to come down in the cool of the day and talk with Adam. So that Adam would know the realities of what God thought about him and what God was saying about him. And this is true of every one of us. This is the simple message this morning. It's about your realities. You cannot serve God in facades. It's about your reality. But your reality is what he says about you. It's not the images we have created. It's not the illusions. It's not what we feel. It's what he says about you. One of the things God says about you is that you're a sinner. We are all sinners, fallen short of the glory of God. I cannot stand here and tell you, I'm not a sinner. I'll be lying. But God I'm a sinner, I am a sinner. But through Jesus Christ, I come to God. And the reality is I'm no longer a sinner, not because of my own works, because of His grace and because of Jesus Christ. And I can stand before God. The reality is I'm only standing before God because of Jesus Christ. That's the reality. It's not in my own excellence. It's not my own intellect. It's not my own abilities. Same goes for everybody hearing me right now. Because there's so much today that we think it's our intellect, our abilities, our skills that bring us before God. No, you only come before God because of Jesus Christ. That's the reality, basic reality. If it's not through Jesus, if Jesus has not brought you before the Father, you are not before the Father. You can be the most intelligent person, the biggest brain on earth. You could be the most wonderful, beautiful person on earth. Listen, without Jesus Christ, you're not before God. That's the reality. I've titled this sermon, Reality Check. Go and buy the land. And how do you buy land? By the word of God. Jeremiah did not go buy land because he just felt like, hey, I got some change, let me go buy land. The word of the Lord came to him, go and buy the land. The reality, land is real. It represents the realities of life. Go and do this. God is saying to you, speaking about realities in your life. And He's saying, focus on those. The areas in your life, in my life, that need working on. God has been pointing you to them for a long time. Deal with that. Fix that. It's a reality in your life. I know people who are lazy. I know people who have no integrity. I know people, and they never work on that, no matter how God points at that reality. And it's the thing that's causing them demise. But they'll never work on it. Why? Because they don't see it as relevant. Whatever is the reality God gives you, it's relevant to you. I'm telling you right now, as you go, be real with God. And I'm telling you, He's a real God who talks to real people about real situations. Real spirituality is based in reality. Let's have every body this morning. You're here, you're not saved, you're not born again, you're not giving your life to Jesus. Just where you are, heads are bowed, eyes are closed. Without Jesus, you can never see God. No one comes to the Father unless through the Son. That's reality. What He says is what's real. If you're not saved, you're not born again, I just want you to repeat this prayer after me. I want you to say, Lord Jesus, come into my life, change me. I'm a sinner. I acknowledge I am a sinner. I've done things wrong. But I know you died on the cross so that I can be saved, that I can come before God and be accepted before God. Lord Jesus, thank you for the cross. Thank you for dying for me. As I come to you, God, forgive me of all my sins. Set me free. Lord God, I thank you. Jesus, become my Lord and my Savior. Guide me and lead me. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Rest of us, let's look at our realities. Every one of us. God is real. You are real. And your situation is real. There's nothing mythical about it. What you're going through, God deals with real people, real situations, because He's a real God. He's telling you His word is real. So what He says about you is what is real about you. Let's begin to pray and As we wind down on this broadcast, just want to thank you once again for joining us. Let's keep praying.